Good day. This is another wonderful time we want to come together by the special grace of God to share one or two things on the platform. Remember that we are dealing with especially what to know before you go into marriage, before you propose to marry, whether man to woman or woman to man. We've been dealing with a couple of values, and we are still sharing part of the values you need to appreciate. You need to know. When you know, then you appreciate the values. And if that opposite sex you are dealing with does not have the value, you need to adjust, or you quickly let him or her know so that both of you can adjust. Else, it can affect the relationship, whether sooner or later. But today we want to look into parenting values. Both of the man and the man are not from the same family. That man comes from a family, then the woman also comes from a family. Then you come together to form your own family. There are certain things you may not know in the life of that opposite sex you are moving with. Not until you begin to relate better. Parenting value is a thing that both of you need to have. You all came from a family, and you need to appreciate the family you came from. The man has his own family, and the woman equally has her own family. But coming together does not mean that you are not going to appreciate your parents. But most time, we realize that if any of them does not have that value, it can affect the family. I've had a man that said the wife should not go to her parents. Going to their parents will always lead to problem in the house. Why? Because the man does not does not have anything that has to do with a parenting value. He's not a type of person that cares for her own parents, whether the father or the mother. But the woman bothers much about her own parents. And that has eventually lead to some couple of a problem within the relationship. At the end of the day, even the family of the woman starts saying that, oh, you don't want our daughter to come to us just because the man did not have that value. And the situation where that value is not there, it can affect the relationship after some couple of time. At a particular time in the beginning, it may not have a much side effect. But by the time the family begin to grow, it may eventually have a side effect on the family. I know a family. The young man normally take care of his own parents, but doesn't bother much about the parents of the lady, of the wife. After a short time, the woman began to raise some couple of alarm that was not okay in the family. This woman does not have a much at hand to take care of her own parents, and the woman cannot do much because there's no much in her hand. If it is a family that the man has parenting value, whatever he want to do for his own parents, he will have to consider the parents of the wife. Make sure that you balance it very well. Because failure to do that, after a short time, the woman may begin to know some couple of grudge, and that may eventually have a side effect in the relationship. The man is taking care of his own parents and does not bother about the parents of the wife. Why? That is an act of selfishness. Not that the man does not have a parenting value. If the man does not have that value, he will not bother about his own parents, neither the parents of the wife. But in this case, he's taking care of his own parents and does not bother about the parents of the wife he married. And that is an act of selfishness. But in case of a man that does not have that value at all, he's not going to bother about his own parents, neither the parents of the wife. And eventually, if the woman, that is the wife, in case of the wife, perhaps the wife is the type of person that have that value, she will be bothering, looking into what she can do to do at least little for her own parents. Eventually, if she does not have much at hand, and the husband that's supposed to be assisting her doing that does not surface or look into what to do to assist her, there may be a problem in the family. Don't forget, whatever may be happening, while you are eating, you know that you came from a family and you must be ready to take care of your own parents. It is very important. And while you are doing that as a man, you always try to understand that you need to do that on the part of your mother-in-law or part of your father-in-law. That is the family of the wife you marry. We have a situation. There are a lot of wives that does not care much about their mother-in-law. I'm still coming back to this point because there are so many things we need to discuss there. I just want to pinpoint that fact tonight. The next time we come over it again. When you look into it very well, most time, when you marry, we don't have much problem within the father-in-law and the wife that you marry. If 80% the problem that will spring up normally comes within the mother-in-law and the wife. We are still coming back to that angle because it's a thing we need to look into very well and do some necessary adjustment that's required so that it will not affect the relationship. When next we meet, we are going to discuss over that one. Because if you marry to a woman and eventually the relationship of that woman with your own mother is not okay, it can affect you. At a start, it may not affect so much. But if eventually it goes long, it may have a side effect. We are going to discuss better about this point very well. But make sure that when you marry, make sure that you take care of the family of your wife. Do the necessary things. The value has to be there. Share things better. So that by the time you do that, you pick your mother-in-law, at least as your mother. Then your wife to pick her mother-in-law as her own mother. When you do that well, it's going to bring us a very peaceful family. And the family will be okay. And it's going to help both of you. I'm going to stop here today. When next we meet, we continue. Bye for now. God bless you.